Okay, so let me tell you one thing. Bookish knowledge is the treasure box. And that may seem like a great achievement to get the treasure box. The truth is, the real treasure is expert knowledge. When you get the knowledge straight from the source, that is the real nectar. That is the actual treasure which you have been hunting for this entire time.
Today, on a special episode of Beyond Her Story, we are stepping into the world of the extraordinary with someone who's not just rewriting the rules, but also reminding us that age is no barrier to impact. Meet Siyona Vikram, an 11-year-old dynamo whose passion and drive has led her to remarkable achievements. While we usually spotlight women achievers, Siona's story transcends boundaries. She is a young change maker, a podcaster, a climate warrior, and an inspiration to us all. So she also has several awards to her credit. She's won the Golden Crane Podcast Award 2020. She is also a final slate nominee for the most prestigious award in podcasting. She's been featured in the anniversary issue of Podcast Magazine, and I can go on and on. So these are just a tiny bit of the amazing things that Siona has done. And let us get ready to be amazed as Siona shares her journey and her vision for a better world right here on Wonder Woman Wednesday. We also have a surprise at the end, so don't go anywhere. Welcome, Siona.
Hi, Sneha. It's so nice to be in your podcast today.
Thank you. So, shall we start?
Sure.
Yeah. So, when did you start with your podcasting journey and how did it happen?
So I started off with my podcasting journey at the age of 8, but then to be honest, I had the entire idea of doing a podcast in my head by the age of 7, which was when I used to live in the UK. And in UK, there is a lot of time for children to, do creative stuff after school. So I resorted all of my time into books and podcasts, and that got me interested in podcasting. So when I came to India, 2020, we all know what happened in that year, right? A big
Yeah.
quarantine happened, and that provided me and my mom a lot of time to start my podcast. So that's how the entire thing get got going. So yeah, that's how my entire podcast started. And guess what? I've been podcasting for almost like 3.5 years now.
Yeah, awesome. It's amazing. I mean, if you started at 8, then I don't have any words to say, right? So, what did you
Thank you.
start with when you started your podcast journey?
So when I started off with my podcast journey, I did a few initial recordings as to what my podcast would be, and even some initial concept sketches of what my podcast could even be about. And at first, I thought maybe let's do it about children. Let's do it like made by children, for children, about children. But then what use is it if the same information that children have keeps getting circulated around in the child community? It doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
at first, I interviewed a few of my friends. I interviewed my grandmom. I interviewed almost anybody I could find, and then I started off with one tiny mic. Say hi to this mic, this legendary mic, and and I started off with just one laptop, one mic, and a few friends. And
Okay.
then when we got to India, I got another mic and we got a little more sophisticated software and we started off recording in our own bedroom. And
Okay.
sometimes, let me tell you something, some podcasters, even sometimes the most successful ones, record in their closet.
Wow, is it? Even,
Yeah.
when
And
when I do the podcast, even I'm like thinking, whether my background is okay, whether the mic is okay and all that. And it's surprising to know that.
yeah, and as we progressed forward, we found out that podcasting, once you start it, it begins to become a very mainstream thing in your life. So
Yeah.
we got this wonderful studio built for podcasting, and
Oh,
yeah, that's how we started out.
awesome. I think so. Your podcast is called Little Mind Chats.
Yes, thank you for
Any
being one of
specific
the
reason?
first people to say it right, because most people be like Little's Mind Chats or Little Minds Chat. I mean, I hate it when that happens, but of course, everybody makes mistakes. That's fine with me.
Yeah. So Little Mind Chats has a tagline. What is it?
Oh, the tagline, yes, interesting. The tagline is minds are little, not our thoughts.
Awesome. I just loved that tagline, and that's why I thought I should ask you about it because I think there's a lot
Mhm.
of thought which has gone into it, right?
Yes, I mean, it may look like this is a tiny mind, this is a very tiny brain, I don't have no brain. But then the truth is, we are bursting with so many thoughts that could probably even revolutionize the world in some way or the other. And by revolutionize, I don't mean the Soviet Union, I mean like positively revolutionize.
I am sure. I am sure looking at you, definitely. And I'm sure there are many such little minds who are, doing so much. So,
Yep, definitely.
your podcast talks about global events, and the concept is to educate children beyond textbooks, right?
Yes.
So, what kind of topics do you normally cover in your podcast?
Okay, so let me tell you one thing. Bookish knowledge is the treasure box. And that may seem like a great achievement to get the treasure box. The truth is, the real treasure is expert knowledge. When you get the knowledge straight from the source, that is the real nectar. That is the actual treasure which you have been hunting for this entire time. So
Right.
I cover a variety of topics. I cover, you see, I don't do it sort of scattered. I do it channelized. See, I seasons in my podcast, and each season has its own topic. Like the first one was
Okay.
health, second one was space, third one was education, and so on. And under those, I have like at least 5 to 6 subtopics, and I invite guests for each of them. And my largest season was the fourth season, which is Earth and Environment. It ran for like at least I think 4 months or something. And I had both
Wow.
adults and children on it because environmental issues are one of the most pressing issues of today's world. And if you keep digging into it, the deeper the hole goes.
Yes, absolutely. So, podcast is just the top of the iceberg, if I might say, right? Because you've also been
Yes.
in some remarkable conferences and events where you have spoken. So, how
Mhm.
has these things influenced your mission?
So, because of conferences and like hot seats and stuff like that, I have happened to meet a lot of people and sometimes even have won awards because I've uh, had the chance to network with these people. And when you network, the more people get to know of you, and the more people get to know of you, the wider you know your cause has been spread. So
Yes.
I'd say that, yeah, conferences were a very integral part of this entire podcasting journey. And I suggest every person who is doing something great to not stay introverted and stay in your nutshell, but to go out there and contact people and literally poke them to invite you to their conferences. If, like you'd be like, if they're giving it this year, then and you apply, they say no, go back the next year and the next year and the next year until you get into their conference.
Hmm. Amazing. Actually, I think even I should take that advice because, yeah, I do have a network and I connect people through my network, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been to any conferences or such events where, like you mentioned, there is a possibility of a greater network, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
conferences are like the atom bombs of networking. So I suggest you go
Awesome.
there.
Yeah. So your podcast has reached numerous countries, cities worldwide. I don't think it's
Mhm.
limited to any geographic location. So how did
Yeah.
you manage to connect with such a diverse audience?
So the main thing about making connections is
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you, first of all, are uploading your content on the right cloud. As a personal suggestion, I would say go to Anchor or Buzzsprout. See, Buzzsprout is paid and Anchor is free. but they both provide this same quality of service. So whatever it is, I do suggest that you go on there and you upload your content, because those clouds literally provide your podcast to almost all the platforms that are for podcasts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning a lot of new things from you, Siona. Like
Mm-hmm.
you said, you are more experienced than me in the podcast journey. We just started 3 months ago, to be very frank. Like, yeah, just in July, we started this journey. So I think I have to, note down all the things that you're saying and tick off the things that I need to do once this podcast is done.
Sure, like when
So,
in July did you start?
July first week, the 2023. It's just been 3 months.
Oh yeah, July is the month I'm born as well. So
Yeah. So, you've been featured in various international podcasts and articles, right?
yeah.
So, as an 11-year-old, how do you feel?
So technically I'm 12 now. And I feel like sometimes when I go on an article, I love reading it, and then I love all the recognition I get. But then sometimes I look back and I think, is this all I have to say about my cause? Is this all I have to say about what I'm doing? I mean, if I do more, then I can say more. And when I say more, there's more to the article that people are going to have to read, and there's more that people are going to have to go wow at. So I really love getting on articles and being recognized, but as an individual, I can say I really fear the interviews.
Yeah,
So,
but I think in the journey, when you feel a little appreciated, it gives you that little boost to do so much more, right? Which is
mhm.
required.
Yeah, sometimes the kind of appreciation I get is so overwhelming. I don't even realize what the hell is going on. Because I was featured in The Guardian along with a few other children, and then I'm like, what, The Guardian? And then like 3 months later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been featured in The Guardian. What am I doing with my life?
I know, I know. Yeah, I can understand what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Uh, so apart from podcasts, like we discussed, you also have an initiative called Little Wise. Is
Yes.
that right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what does WISE stand for, and what motivated you to address the issue of plastic pollution through this club?
Yes. So, Little Wise, WISE is an acronym for Warriors Inspiring Sustainable Earth. It's like Little Warriors Inspiring Sustainable Earth, to denote that children are leading this entire cause as little warriors. And I would say that. What was your second question again?
Second
Sorry.
question was what motivated you to address the issue of this plastic pollution through the club?
Yes. So as I mentioned, I had the season 4 where I spoke to a lot of scientists, environmentalists, children, etc., etc., and
Hmm.
whatever they said really got me thinking. Like, is this what we do to our Earth after all the Earth has done for us? And I really wanted to do something about it. So that's when I decided that maybe I'd start a little club along with my neighborhood friends. But then my mom was like, you know what, Sienna, you are a podcaster. You can do so much more with this if you put your soul into this. And I was like, okay. And that's how the entire Little Wise initiative got started. And today we are not just in one neighborhood, we are part of 10 schools.
Awesome. I think that's amazing. One school at a time, right? Makes so much of a
Yes.
difference. Yeah. So when
Sometimes we
did you
get stuck.
start this?
So we started this like I think I think it's been like uh, 1.5 years right now, and we have done quite a lot of things for this club. I think we're approaching 1 year right now, because we did something called a Q drive in February, which is like an exhibition, Chitrakala Parishad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that, but then for only eco-friendly stuff. So That's what we do. And every time we meet a new school, we get into contact with the principal, we get into contact with a few teachers, and then they take it forward in our club because our club runs in the form of collection drives in
Yes.
schools, where
Mm-hmm.
we like collect plastic from straight from the children on a designated date given by the school.
Okay. So can you tell me a little more about what is this? I think you call it as a gamification, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Can you tell?
the gamification is why all the children want to participate. The thing about gamification is every child loves games, loves getting points. I don't know why, but there's this certain gratification when you win points in a game. So based on that idea, we started to give out something called eco points. So how it is made is for every 1 kilogram of plastic, you get 100 eco points. So based on that analogy, we give points to our eco warriors. Then every time
Mhm.
they hit like a milestone in their points, they get a coupon for sustainable shopping on sites like Brown Living, Rescript, Shumi Toys, and we have a few more coming up. And yeah, they even get a default 50 points for just joining the club. So yeah, it's an
Yeah.
interesting
I,
experience for everybody, and all love it.
I know. And actually, I think it's not just kids, right? Adults also like if you have this kind of gamification. Are they a part of your
Yeah.
club or it's only restricted to the kids? Do you have an age limit?
Well, no, we don't have any age limits, and parents are definitely allowed because sometimes the kids do need assistance in bringing in the plastic, and sometimes these drives usually happen on Saturdays and Sundays, so we do need the parents to bring the children into the school, and it's the parent who does all the signing up into our website and stuff like that. So yeah, parents are an integral part of this entire initiative.
Yeah, but the main focus is children trying to understand all about sustainability and all
Mhm.
these things, right? About how do
Yes.
you, yeah, the gamification part makes it more interesting for them to collect all the plastic waste and then, get something in return in terms of coupons.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, as a young leader, what are your future plans and aspiration in terms of sustainability? So now you have two parallel things going on. One is podcast and
Mm-hmm.
one is your little wise club, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to focus on both of these things? Because, one complements the other. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So what are your plans?
So as I grow up, I do plan to do something like become a zoologist or become a vet or do something for the sixth mass extinction. I mean, not many people know this, but then there's something going on called the sixth mass extinction where almost all of Earth's species are going extinct. And in the fifth mass extinction, which is the Triassic Jurassic, yes, the extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs,
Mhm.
76% of species were wiped out. And do you know how many have been wiped out till date in the sixth mass extinction?
Hmm. No, I don't.
70% by human activity.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's a
So
huge percentage.
very huge percentage.
Yeah.
So we're just like 6% away from matching up with the Triassic Jurassic. So when I grow up, I want to become a veterinarian, doctor, or a zoologist, or anything related to fauna that can help stop the sixth mass extinction.
Wow. I think you have great clarity, Siona, and doing these things, you might be able to maybe it gives you more direction to what you're doing, and you're able to move forward, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's one more thing which you talk about is every child on this earth is a global citizen. So can you tell me
Mm-hmm.
more about what is this? That what are your thoughts, and why have you come up with this?
So why I say every child on earth is a global citizen is because I don't think many people get the concept, but there's something that's actually called global citizenship. I know there are a lot of memes that be like, I don't abide by the laws of the US because I am a citizen of the earth. I mean, you still have to abide by the laws of your country, but then, of course, you are a citizen of this earth and you do belong to this earth. You do not belong to any one country. You belong to everybody. And
Yes.
everybody is your family, of course. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, right? So
Yeah.
that's why.
Okay. So, apart from your school, your podcast, your Little Wise project, what other activities do you like?
So I like doing a lot of art, painting, and stuff like that. I love making animations, and yeah, I really enjoy the world of art and making things, and just using my creativity in any way that interests me.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of creativity that you have, and you're expressing it through. There are ways children express their creativity. Some can be constructive, and I think that's what you're doing. You're in the right path of, using it in a very constructive way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, So we've had a little chat with Siona trying to figure out what she's been doing, and I don't think this does justice to what she's been doing. But now we have, like we talked about earlier, we have a surprise, and joining us is someone whose unwavering support has been instrumental in Siona's journey. So she's a shining example of how a parent's encouragement can nurture a child's dream. Siona's mother, Geeta Kadawa. She is an expert in software and has 15 years of experience in the field. Now, with a major part of her career spent in the UK, and she also is Siona's mom. I mean, I'm sure you would have understood by now. And together they have taken on this exciting project, Little Wise, where even Geeta is a part of. Welcome, Geeta.
Hi, thank
Hi,
you so much
Geeta.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. So,
Oh, thank you so much.
coming to you, could you tell us how about your background in software and your time working in the UK?
Yes, so I have been in several roles within software, which is, and I ended up becoming a product manager and so many business analysts and different roles. And that kind of exposure brings in a lot of experience that you can probably use in real world and not just in a client's place.
Yeah, I totally agree. Actually, I was also a software engineer before getting into all this, so I can totally resonate with you.
Yeah, I know. I know. I think, naturally, women are so talented, and because we multitask so many things, we're already doing a lot. And then give it the knowledge of software and how the industry works and all that. We take unique capabilities from different places and then express it different ways.
Yeah, I agree. And I think these software skills, I'm sure you would have used it to be a part of the Little Wise project too, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So it so happened that we the starting point, like Siona would have told, is the two-day old turtles. It struck a chord with me when she was recording in this very room. It really struck both of us, and it felt very powerless that we cannot do much as a mother-daughter duo. There's no point in me going to neighbors and then saying, "Hey, don't use plastic." That's barely going to make an impact. And so
Yeah.
I chose to use that capability that I already had over my 15 years of experience in the software. And
Yeah.
I'm like, there has to be some other way of doing it. And children are so hooked to games and everything. That kind of resonated immediately. And I'm like, we need to gamify it somehow. You can gamify things online, a software
Yes.
part of it, but how do you gamify something that's happening on the ground to make a difference on the ground is something that I did spend quite a lot of time. I devised the whole website to resonate and bring in the element of gamification. Yeah, I think that really worked. Children love the language of points and
Yeah,
levels. So
yeah.
that's what we brought into a sustainability thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really great idea because like you mentioned before, in this digital world, children specifically like games, points, and yeah, so it actually resonates with them and makes them to participate. I think which is the most important thing, right? That is the key to your project. Like you want
Yes.
children to participate, be a part of it. So the gamification was your idea, Geeta?
Yes, it was, and Siyona was very excited, and we both brainstormed, and then like maybe this, maybe that. So it had to be very easily understandable by children. So we thought, okay, 1 kilo is equal to 100 points. That's easy to calculate for anybody, and even the parents, they now know that okay, we brought 600 grams, so we get 60 points. So that's very easy
Yeah,
to calculate,
correct.
and they feel very excited as soon as they enter their weight. They go back to the points and they check. I've seen every eco warrior do this, and that brings
Yeah.
in the excitement inside. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think your collaboration with these sustainability brands that have helped you more, right? I mean, the support that they have provided is also, I think, something which is commendable in terms of
Sneha, I
getting it.
have to give this bit to the founder of Brown Living, Chaitsi Ahuja. So
Yeah.
we were at a place where we were thinking we have to gamify everything. We get the points, and the person who got the maximum number of points gets the first prize. The second,
Mhm.
so every month we thought we'll have eco warriors and their points and everything coming in. But then Chaitsi was like, you're going to discourage other eco warriors, who have also done probably something. So
Yeah.
I'm ready to, sponsor the coupons for everybody who's putting in the effort in your club. And I'm like, are you sure? I asked her like 10 times, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I've done, it's okay. I don't have to do my calculations. I'm so sure. So
Yeah.
Siona was like, she was trying to understand, but then I'm like, I think that's going to cost a lot to the company. But eventually we realized that each month we have a certain number of coupons to be given out, and Brown Living has been doing a fantastic job by supporting that way. I have to confess that.
Yeah. And I think now you have more brands who are collaborating with you on this initiative, right?
So we are being very very careful with whom we're collaborating, Sneha.
Okay. Okay.
We sit down and brainstorm. We do a lot of research that goes behind it. There
Yeah.
shouldn't be even a single ounce of plastic. The paint that they use in different
Yeah.
things. So
Correct.
far, I found two brands, that is Brown Living and Rescript,
And
um,
Shumi Toys.
and Shumi Toys. We let the eco warrior choose which brand they want to go with for the coupon. And
Okay.
all of them go for Brown Living because the website and the things in it are very
Yeah.
enticing.
They're very
I
aesthetic.
know.
Yeah.
And I think they're 100% sustainable. Like they're very
Yes.
careful about what goes into every part of their
That's the
right
beauty
from
of
packing
that
to
website.
the yeah. Yeah, Chaitsi was a part of Wonder Woman Wednesday too, which was the first step for me towards sustainability because
Wow.
yeah,
Yes.
though we have awareness, it's like, certain times you don't realize that you're not doing the right things. And I think that
Yes.
conversation really helped me rethink the things that I do in my daily life too.
That's so cool. I think Chetsi's approach towards sustainability and the way she's putting it forward to the world is something that's the need of the hour. And
Yeah.
when we are doing our drives as well, we have a separate table of sustainability. Yeah, and over there we keep a full of compost. We keep bioenzymes. We just say it just needs like 3 ingredients to create these wonderful things that
That's
the
true.
nature
Correct.
loves. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we keep some items that are made out of wood, and we keep a whole list of items that show the decomposition time. The same thing was bought in plastic. So if there's a
Okay.
toothbrush, 400 years, everybody goes,
Mm-hmm.
what? We never knew that.
Mm.
Where do you get
Yeah.
these wooden
True.
ones? Then they strike, okay, there are bamboo
Yeah.
ones that probably can go
Correct.
compose in
Yeah.
like 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I think awareness is the first thing that, which I think with this gamification, you are starting from the young minds, which is the main thing actually.
Yes, it's not just the gamification, Sneha. We are making sure that they come with their parents. It's a family level effect that we're
Yeah,
trying to put in
yeah,
there.
yeah, I know.
Each school, we meet nothing less than 100 families in each drive. Yeah.
Wow,
So in an
that's a
academic
large
year, they
number.
conduct exactly. So we are trying to spread the message, and I hope we make some kind of a dent in the current situation of plastic.
Yeah. And you being a mom and you being a collaborator, is there, helping, supporting Siona? What is the difference there, like when you do it as a mom and when you are the, mind behind the little wise too?
Oh yeah, it's obviously very challenging, and there's a lot of fights, loves, kisses, everything that goes on in the back end, and and then we do have our ups and downs. I'm sure Sienna will agree, but when I see her performing beyond her capability, there were days when
Yeah.
she recorded podcasts even when she had fever. She's like, "No, mom, this has to go online." Yeah,
Wow.
the first 1.5 years we did every single week. You can imagine the kind
Mm-hmm.
of stress. Luckily there was a lockdown, and we
Mm-hmm.
were at home most of the time, which really helped us pick up the pace of the podcast. After her school started, we've had to reduce it to like once a month or something. But then I
Yeah,
have to
makes
say,
sense.
as a mom, keeping that balance between a child's welfare and everything
Yeah.
is quite a, yeah, balancing act, I should say.
Yeah. But I'm sure, your support is what keeps her going even much more with much more guts. So, right, Siona?
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Okay. So, shall we have a little bit of fun round in terms of
Oh,
rapid fire, where I'll be asking a question about who comes up or who is more likely, and you need to point out your fingers to whoever does it. Okay.
there's like 3 minutes left.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 minutes
Don't
is
worry.
okay.
If it gets over, then we'll do one more call.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, shall we start?
Mhm.
absolutely.
Who comes up with the innovative ideas for the Little Wise project? Okay, that's nice actually. Who spends more hours reading science books? Oh my God, what is this? 50-50, is it?
I think so. I mean, yeah.
Who initiates the conversations with experts for the podcast? Okay. Who normally takes charge of organizing club activities? Very good. Who suggests new podcast topics?
Both,
Both
it's
of you.
it should
So
be
you
up
can do
because it's
50-50.
both. Yeah.
50-50. Yeah. Who is more likely to break into a spontaneous dance? You didn't expect that question, did you?
Oh, she was
Nice.
out. Yeah,
Me.
Sienna is yeah, she just loves.
Very nice. Yeah. Who is more adventurous when it comes to trying out new things? Siona, I think you're getting brownie points, but I don't have any vouchers to coupons to give you, okay?
Oh,
I'll
me
just
being
give
here
you.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who's the most creative when it comes to crafting or DIY projects, anything that you do?
Definitely.
Okay, nice. So, yeah, I think that is all we have for the rapid fire. Uh, so, before we conclude, Siona and Geeta, do you have any final thoughts or messages that you would like to share with our viewers? I'm sure you will, and we would definitely love to hear about it.
Well, I would say never give up and never bow down to all the prejudices in society. Never bow down to those who tell you to stop. And always listen to the voice inside of you that says Go on, do it. You can.
Wow. Amazing, Siyona.
Yeah.
Geeta, what about you? I'm sure
My
you too will have a wonderful message.
the she set the high bar quite high. I'll try. My message would be to parents: never say no to a child's idea. Try to stand behind them. I know all of us are very busy in the current world, the way it is running. We are forced to go out to jobs and do a lot of stuff, but then support them as much as you can. You might feel tired, but it might be just a 2-3 minute job that can probably trigger the ball rolling. And going sustainable is not difficult. We have to make.
Yeah, so one last thing, Siona and Geeta, like where can our viewers reach you? Especially, being a part of this Little Wise Drive, I think a lot of people would be interested. So where can they reach you?
So they can reach us at contact@littlemindchats.com.
Okay, and I'll leave the email ID in the description too, so people can just click
Mm-hmm.
on it and send you an email, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think
Absolutely.
this was an educative podcast for me. It actually, listening to you, Siona, I'm getting so many ideas for Wonder Woman Wednesday too, in terms of, whether it'll help if I can gamify it too, right? Because Wonder
Mm-hmm.
Woman Wednesday is also an initiative where we want to empower women, like how you want children to be a part of your journey. We want women to be a part of the journey that we are, we want to empower them, inspire them, and those kind of things. So I'm sure I have a lot of takeaways from what you've just told, and I definitely see a couple of things that I can start making a part of Wonder Woman Wednesday too. So thank you so much,
Okay.
Geeta and Siona. Thank you for being a part of this wonderful podcast. Yeah,
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
thank
for
you.
having us. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you,
Bye.
Geeta. Thank you, Siona.
Thank you, Sneha.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope their story has inspired you as much as it has inspired us. Remember, it's not too early or too late to follow your passions and make a difference. So, thank you for joining us on this episode of Beyond Her Story, where we celebrate the extraordinary journeys of everyday heroes. Stay tuned for more incredible stories, and until next time, keep believing in the power of your dreams. Thank you, and bye bye.